Hi, hello, it's me again. Uh, I figured it's about time I give you an update. As you may have noticed, the content of the channel has, gone way down. It's because I've focused on, just not recording videos, so I've been just, cutting up already what I have, so I can focus on this. So what I have right now, the main focus, it has been excuse me? Yep, that's because the vector. I've been focused on, dang, I've lost my touch. It's been way too long since I've done one of these. My focus, oh, yeah, I haven't even described, oh, but I thought you were creating an engine. No, well, yes, still yes, but I moved on to, Necro, which is what I'm calling this, which is like, Sid Meier's, what's his name? It's like Civilization 6 or 7. I don't know. I haven't played 7 this time. I've been focused on more of the tile generation. You know what? This is actually a first that's looked like this. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see. Okay, can't do that. I'm going to pretend that's the first I didn't see it that far unbalanced. I forgot to create a failsafe to make sure it's not all water or not all land. Anyway, what was I saying? Completely forgot. Civilization like a game. Yeah, okay. So this is something I was going to create to test my engine regardless. So I figured instead of creating the engine and doing this to test it, I might as well just do this and take what works into the engine. Why can I not? Oh, there we go. I was looking the wrong way. That's still not what it typically looks like. Oh well, I believe you get the point. I have a bunch of this is counting basically all the items in the scene, so I can know that spawning things without it throwing an error. Or at least I know how long to wait. So what's different from the engine last time I showed you? Probably the how I'm doing the entities. Is it the best? I don't think so, but at least it works. So I have entity data structures, whatever you want to call them. So within these, I have like a model, which is like the actual model. I'll be adding textures here shortly. You got the color and transform, which is the same. The model got moved in here. You see collision model, because I was actually setting up collision before I realized there's no reason to have collision. Actually, there may be a reason. I might use it to simulate the arrows or something. Because this isn't going to be like the it's going to be, well, point and click is not the right word I want to call it. It's going to be more like free movement instead of being locked to the grid. The grid of hexagons, yeah, hexagons are basically just for the environment. The units will essentially move freely. This is going to be a city builder, but I want it to focus, but have a more focus on the military things. So I have the ID. Where's my hexagonal? So for the hexagons, how I'm spawning them is I'm creating a vector of tile grids. If it's odd, it's going to offset it. If it's not odd, yes, no. If mod 2 is equal to 0, that means it's even, else it's odd. So you subtract the offset. I have constant expressions, so they're done at runtime because they're never going to change, and I don't really know what else to do with them. The while all of these data structures have the public entity, the entity is like the one, like very top thing because it's creating the ID. Now each tile doesn't need an ID, and I really need to remove that, but I haven't gone around to it, and it also helps me see if they're actually being spawned. I'll do the same when I'm adding trees and things, which hurts to even think about how much waste there is because I'm adding things that aren't making things run that aren't going to stay like that. So how the tiles are created, it's basically just, like I said, a vector starts at 0, 0. I input a bounds like 120 by 100. If the row is less than the bounds row, it will just add to the row. If the row is greater than or equal to like the max x of the bounds, it's just going to reset it and then just add to it. I completely forgot about this. I needed to add 1 because I found out that incrementing it like this, it doesn't. So if you do 1 plus plus, it doesn't return 2. It returns 1, then creates itself, making it 2. I found that out the hard way. I always thought it would just added itself, but that actually makes a whole lot of sense because of the way it's just used in for loops. As you got for int I equals 0, I probably less than 100, I plus plus, then that's supposed to be I plus plus, because it needs to fire on the 0th count. It can't just start at 1. I don't know how I never caught that, but I apparently just didn't. Where's my entity lists and constructors? I'll talk about those entity lists. Bear with me, because this is... I understand why they ban templates in some game studios, because, sometimes it's... Setting this up, it was kind of hard to understand. And I was the one doing it. So actually I should start, in terms of understanding, I should start within the call itself. That's not the, I moved the calls. Where did I move the calls? Is it in U? Oh no, I don't remember where I moved the calls to. Okay, right here. So, it's calling hex constructor. So hex constructor is like the thing that constructs hexes. It takes the data structure type, creates itself a variable. It has to be a reference, because first time I didn't use a reference. Very bad idea. So it creates itself as a hex list. The list is basically just the data of the entity, and the constructor is basically just the thing that tells it to create, I guess. I don't know if that's not really the best way to explain what I'm doing with it. I'm just going to assume you're going to understand. So when the create... Okay, well, I guess I need to explain this. Continuous versus single. Single creates just a single one and adds it to just itself, basically. Why are you an entity list? Yes, because that returned itself, and I need to return this, or not return it. My god, it's been way too long since I've done this, please bear with me. So, when the entity is constructed, it's saying that the entity is a shared type. In this case, it's hex. It's returning a pointer to the hex, which should... I actually really need to change that. It's returning a pointer to the hex, and it's forwarding whatever arguments I put into it. In this case, if I go back to the hex, it's forwarding, it's forwarding the device and the grid bounds. Going back to the constructor, it's forwarding the device and grid bounds. And then it's adding it to the map of the entity list. And the map of the entity list is just a map of IDs and trade pointers. I don't know what really to... I completely forgot I was supposed to look into... Oh well. So when you get all vectors, it basically just returns all the vectors in the map. I really don't know what. I don't know. It's pretty self-explanatory. Oh, we have the set single and get single. I mainly needed this for the camera, maybe for the directional light. Also, I don't know what else I'm going to use. If we go back. Oh my god, if we go back to the hex tiles, you see the device input and the bounds input. And then when we do it, we're contacting the entity header and just telling it to create an ID. And then we're also telling it to create the positions with the tile bounds. So that's where we get this from. I wish you could see the hand movements I'm doing. It would make it a whole lot better. Where was I? I already explained how... Did I explain? I don't know. I believe I did. I'm just going to assume I did. Did I tell you about collision? Yeah, I'm going to assume I did. Yeah, I think that's... Oh, I haven't showed you the checks. I know that. So how it gets spawned, you've probably seen it. Is it the best? No. I really need a proper bias system, because right now I'm relying pretty much just on pure randomness. I mean, I guess it would still kind of be randomness with the bias system, but I think you get the idea. So what happens first is if we check if it's the first row. If it's the first row, we check if it's the first hex. If it is the first hex, it needs to be a random color. If not, we're going to reference this uint8 integer with likely distribution. I put uint8 because I probably need to just do a normal integer. Oh my god. But like, I just figured out I might as well, this is running a lot, I might as well just to do a 8-bit integer, which is your just default 0 to 255. Then we check this input, and if it's greater than 70, or no, if it's less than or equal to 70, it takes the previous color. So if the hex first spawned an ocean from this, and then it hit like 70 less than or equal to 70, this next tile would be an ocean. If not, it hits... I just realized I can use this for randomness also. If not, it just creates another random tile. Then else, if it's not the first row, there's just a bunch of likeliness checks. This one, if it's less than or equal to 25, it takes the one before it. I had to do these two because I realized that when spawning, I'm sure you can still see some of it. I'm going to try to run it up again and see if we can get like the diagonal motion. Because when spawning, because how the grid is, it tracks... I'm going to need to have it track more, but I have a double-ended queue that tracks 1.5 rows. And like how the rows are offset, if we go It'd probably just be easier to show you with my mouse because I need to get a camera in so you can see these hand motions. So, I mean, I guess there's some diagonalness, but I've gone rid of a lot of it. So if I go up, let's say this ocean is the one I'm spawning, it will check if it's... So if it was just grid bounds, if it was just size minus grid bounds, it would check this one. The one right... Come on, go down, please. It would check this one right down here. And since this was like 75, no, this would have been like 98 and below. I was getting a lot of like diagonal, like this way, this diagonal. You see this right here? It was going this way. A bunch of like diagonal of one type. So I had to I needed to split it up into a couple other checks so it would not be diagonal. Oh my god, where did all my speech ability go? It's no longer with me. And with -2, initially I had +2 and I couldn't figure out, I had +1 and +2 and I couldn't figure out why it was, like it made this more extreme before I realized I'm just dumb. Because of like, we're taking the grid, minusing it, so it's going this way. If I were to add it, would further go this way. Like, at this point, I don't know. I'm just spewing words, hoping you hear it. I have been yapping about nothing for 17 minutes. Oh my god. I've lost all ability. This actually turned out, without a bias system, it actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would. Now, this is only 3 types, and it's going to get progressively worse when I add other types of biomes. But I may just keep this how it is, and just with the 3 types, and just have the classifications being like wet, dry, and temperate, or moderate, or something like Civ does in its settings. Because this, where did I go? There I am. I don't think this overall spawning is bad. I do need to add a failsafe or two to make sure it's not all land or all ocean like the first couple of spawns. That was the first time I saw that and I didn't even think of it before then. But I think I might have to group it into 3, keep this because it doesn't look too bad. I probably will have to modify the... No, because that would tie it back into doing biases, and if I'm doing biases, I don't really need that 3 classification thing. Oh well, I'll deal with it later. Where did my command prompt go? Was there anything else? Can I explain the constructors better now that I've gone a grip of talking? Probably. I mean, at this point, it's over. I'm done talking. At this point, I'm just trying to redo something better. So this is getting called from wherever. I mean, I've developed this so I can call it from wherever. And here it's the hex tiles. Earlier it was, if I go into my app manager, it used to be in here. I guess I can show you what the little skybox thing I was doing. It used to be in here. I wanted to split this so I could call it really anywhere I needed. That was kind of like the whole idea of splitting it, call it wherever I needed. So then the only way I could figure out that would be, without having like a mountain of includes, would be templates. I must say, I don't really prefer templates that much. So here we go. This is like kind of the sky sphere I was working on, not really much. But this is the Just this is just like another entity. Don't know what to call it. It just is what it is. It's, I don't know, it's really hard for me to kind of like explain what's going on, because all of this is just like 8 different types. It's integers, booleans, some floats here and there. I don't think I've really used the doubles, unless GLM by default makes some of them doubles. But like all it is just like the same components, just structured differently. If statements, fors, for loops, it's all the same thing, just ever so slightly different. Is there anything else interesting? Yeah, all of vectors, I told you that. I guess I can show you. I'll show you what my collision's doing. Surely, collision shaded, what color is it? Purple, that's fine. Where is my collision? Where is collision method? So I'm calling it collision method. It's really, I wanted to like create a clear separation because it would confuse me from like the method. That's the way in which things are rendered versus the renderer itself. The methods are the like underlying data. For example, this renders lines opposed to the default renderer, which renders triangles. Before I do the renderer, I need to enable the render creation. Are you in here? No. Why are you not in? Are you in the entity? Why do I have the... Hold up, what? No, that's not. The basic entity has it, why does the X not have it? Really? Hold up, what did I do with... I had it somewhere, did I not? Right here, because that's where I'm setting the model. That's right, because I created an extra input called color, which will bring me to the model CPP, where I phased out Tiny Object Loader with UFPX, and UFPX gave me some problems earlier because apparently there's supposed to be like some like triangulation thing. Triangle splitting splits things that are not triangles into triangles, and it gave me issues because I was trying to figure out why I didn't enable the collision, did I? I think I did. It caused me issues because I couldn't figure out why my FBX meshes were like only half loading with half the faces before I realized that I don't know if it was in older versions or not, but I saw like overflow? Overflow is not it. Stack Overflow? No, I think it's Stack Overflow solutions that were saying to add the options line to add triangulation, but it doesn't exist. I don't know if I didn't download an old version. It was the newest one. I don't know if they got rid of it or not. But it took me 10 hours to figure out what was wrong. And the solution was just to click if I go Blender, the solution was purely to, hello, why? That's because this is taking all my RAM. The solution was simply to export FBX geometry, enable this. I spent 10 hours to figure out that I failed to click a single checkbox. Anyway, collision. I forgot to get rid of the sphere. And now it's lagging because, I mean, I'm drawing like more than twice the amount that I was. But yeah, you got the collision viewer, which you can now see well, you could already see the individual hexes decently. But that's what I was doing with the collision. Let's disable that before I forget. My mouse froze. Really? Please respond. Thank you. Just do not render. I will say there's two render methods. I need to split this one into its own, like, skybox renderer. Or maybe not skybox, but effects, because I need fog and I need clouds. And I would think maybe you would keep them in the same one. Oh well, I talked about absolutely nothing for almost half an hour. That was Necro Civ Devlog Part 1, I guess. It's just been me struggling to figure out things. Just the average programming activity. Why are you here? I don't remember. I was trying to think of if there was anything else I was trying to show off. Thought that. Did I add? No, my frame info hasn't changed. I did talk about the entities. I did not mean to pin that. I guess I didn't really talk about the shaders. I have this global set layout because, I mean, I kind of need it because I'm, like, basically using the same shader setup as is this? Yes, vertex. It's essentially the same, just without a bunch of the inputs and outputs. Because, like, I'm only rendering lines, so I don't need UVs, nor normals. Do I have... Yes, of course I have the color. Why do I have the... Wait, what? No, I still need those because of the hash map. If I remove them, it's going to throw the indices off. No, that's correct. I need to change that. No, I don't, because I'm not going to use collision. Whatever, I got distracted. Before I get distracted again, I'll see you all eventually again. Goodbye. That was Necro Civ Devlog Part 1. I'll see you all at some point. I hope you all have a good rest of the day. Goodbye.